Yo, hello guys, my name's Mighty Max, welcome back to a brand new video. Today you're going to be watching another episode of the Cosplay Warehouse. In today's video, we're going to be making Black Bull's cloak slash robe. I don't know what it's really called, but for this video, I'll be using Asta's cloak as a reference, but this video could help you to make any character's cloak. Alright, let's do this. So, to start off with, let's go for the tools, shall we? You're going to need a cheap hoodie. Roughly 2 sizes up. This isn't really a tool, but this is something you're definitely going to need. Yeah, roughly 2 sizes up. This is just so that you have enough room for error, and you need it to be baggy enough for it to be a cloak. If it's going to be too small, it's like going to fit you too well, and it's not going to look very good. You're also going to need some golden fake leather material. I found it on eBay for cheap. UK links are in the description. It's mega cheap. Just make sure you find the cheapest stuff that you can to make this as affordable as possible. Now you're also going to need your main tools such as box cutters, scissors, sharpies, a gold sharpie specifically, some rubber or matte black spray paint, rulers, etc. On top of that, you're also going to need lots of contact adhesive or super glue. I'd recommend sewing this if you're good at that sort of thing. However, I'm not, so I choose to use contact adhesive to stick on the gold trim and other parts. You'll also need a hot glue gun, but this is only to make a button, and it isn't used for anything else. So if you don't have one, just buy a button. But hey, if you do, you can make a much better custom button, which is why I used it. Also should mention to always wear gloves and a mask throughout for safety. Alright, so, step 1. Subscribe and like this video for future videos. It's free and it helps me make better content for you. Alright, step 2, now we're being serious. Grab your hoodie and start trimming it, like I do here. It's important to make sure you do not trim it too much, because you can't go back once you've done this step. It's also important to make sure that this hoodie is at least 2 to 3 times bigger than your normal size, otherwise it won't work, as I said earlier. A tip here is to cut through both sides of the hoodie at the same time, and make sure to move the hood out of the way, just in case you cut it. Okay, step 3. Once you think you've trimmed your hoodie well enough, and you've done it like how I have in the video, then give it a quick test fit and see if you need to trim it any more before moving forwards, because you can't go back once you've done this step. Now, step 4. Cut the slit on the left side of the hoodie. Remember that this hoodie is facing you right now, and when you put this hoodie on, the slit will be on the right side. Then also cut a smaller slit up the back of the hoodie in the center. Yeah, there's a smaller slit going up the center of the back of the hoodie at the bottom. Alright, next, step 5. Get out your knife and start cutting long strips of gold material about 2 inches wide. This will give room for folding the edges later. The longer the strips are, the better, as there will be less seams to cover. Mine only made it about halfway across the hoodie, but that isn't too bad. Alright, step 6. Next, you want to fold one edge of the gold material inwards about 1 centimeter and glue that down with either contact adhesive or something else like possibly dabs of super glue, but it would dry quite rigid. It's best to use the stuff that dries like rubber rather than rock hard, because it needs to stretch and bend and move, and it needs to be movable. okay? It needs to be maneuverable, so don't use anything that's going to dry rock hard, otherwise it's just going to stick out and look weird. And of course, if you're a sewer, then go ahead and sew this, so it'll be much easier for you. Okay, step 7. Now, if you can sew, then start sewing. And if you can't sew, then start gluing. All you need to do is put some contact adhesive on the edge of the folded gold material and some on the edge of the hoodie. Remember to do this for the hood too. Oh, and it's a little tricky, but you can do it. Also a tip, try not to leave any adhesive showing, as it will look really tacky and it will ruin the look. Also remember that you don't get any redos, so if you do put this adhesive in the wrong place, you won't be able to get it off the hoodie because it will sink into the material. Okay, step 8. Now, an easy step, print out a picture of the Black Bulls logo. You could get a logo off the internet, off of Google or something, but if you don't have a printer, you could just trace the logo onto some paper. If you don't have one, grab a square of the gold material that's at least 2 inches bigger than the print, and you may possibly have to print out like a few different sizes until you're happy with it, but you may as well be happy with it, right? Otherwise you're just ruining it. Then, simply cut out the print so that we have a stencil. Now, if you have any rubber spray paint, I'd use it, because it's gonna deal with a lot more wear and tear than just average matte spray paint, but if you don't have any, then just use matte spray paint, it'll be fine. Now, get a glue stick, or not really PVA glue, just use a glue stick or something that won't stick the paper to the material forever, because you need to be able to peel this off. So, glue down the print with a glue stick or another glue, and gluing down the stencil stops you from getting those blurry looking edges, as the paint won't be able to get under the stencil. Okay, now that you've sprayed it, peel off the stencil slowly, be careful, because it may rip and it may get stuck to the material, so be careful with this. You should also have something that looks like this. Okay, now, you want to cut out this black logo with at least a few centimeters of space around the edge. This is for error, and this is also because it's how it's supposed to look. Then you can draw on the line work with a permanent marker and a gold Sharpie, like so. And if you mess up with any of the gold Sharpie over the black spray paint, you can just cover it again with the black marker. So it's pretty easy. You know, you may mess this up a couple of times, but once you get the hang of it, it'll be easy. You'll be fine. I mainly just wanted to avoid like printing it out and sticking it on. I thought it was a bit tacky, and I wanted something that would be able to stay on this hoodie for like a while, right? Because you don't want to go to like a convention and then, you know, your little paper sticker has just fallen off like halfway through or something random. You know, you want this to be on there forever, so this is probably the best way. Alright, step 9, grab some adhesive, or sew on the badge in this spot, and you're nearly done. It's so easy to do this, guys, no joke. So, you want to do it at a very slight angle, but not too much, and it goes in the space between the slit and the other shoulder of the hoodie, as you can see here. Alright guys, so I've missed this part out very quickly. You also want to fold in the bottom part of the gold trim and glue that on too. So again, if you're sewing, it's much easier if you can sew, but obviously if you can't, then just glue it. It's just as easy for a person who can't sew. Alright, that should be it. And now for the fun part. If you have money, then go ahead and just buy a button from somewhere, but obviously that's going to take time to find one. You need to be able to find one that's the same, and, you know, that's just a bit annoying. If you have a glue stick, though, you can make a custom button. This may take a couple of tries, but trust me, it's a lot easier than it looks. Alright, so once you've made a button that you're happy with, and it's about the right size, then all you need to do is cover that in some gold Sharpie, or some gold spray paint if you have some. The reason that I use the gold Sharpie is because it's very, very similar gold colour to the gold material that I have. I have a feeling that if I used gold spray paint, it probably wouldn't stick to the glue very well, and, the button, it wouldn't stick very well, and it'd probably just peel off, right? So I figured using a Sharpie would be better, and it definitely works quite well. Alright guys, so here is the finished product. This was such an easy thing to do for me. I'm very happy of how it's turned out. It's very clean, it's very nice, it fits me quite well, it kind of flows nicely, it looks like there's a bit of wind going through, so it's really good for pictures and all that kind of stuff. But hey, it looks pretty good, and honestly, it will cost less than buying one off the internet for like... I've seen some that go for like £30 for literally the same thing, and you could just use a little bit of your time and just make one for like 10, 12 pounds, maybe 15 at most. If you've made one of these yourself, or maybe you sewed this, definitely hit me up in the comment section below. Instagram, Twitter, all the rest is up on the screen here. Please subscribe if you're new, and also my Patreon is down in the description below. I don't have a single Patreon yet, but when I do, they will be congratulated for being my first Patreon ever, and that is my first step to doing this as my full-time job. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Absolutely smash the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Stay mighty. Also, little tip. Guess what? I've actually got a link to all of my cosplay videos in the description, guys. It's a playlist, and you can go through all of my Black Clover cosplays. You can go through all of my cosplays in general. So there's 2 different playlists, guys. Go check it out. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Bye.